I'm Jerome Weeks. How can water be a musical instrument? David Cossin is a renowned percussionist who has performed with Sting, Yo-Yo Ma, and Philip Glass. This weekend, Cossin performs Tandon's Water Concerto with the Fort Worth Symphony. David, welcome to Think.
Oh, thanks. Great to be here.
Now, most people know Tandon from the Oscar-winning soundtrack for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which you performed on, and so you've known him for a while. Can you give us some idea of what led him to create an entire concerto around water-based instruments?
Oh yes, well, this water concerto is a part of a series of pieces that he calls organic music, and he was always experimenting with different sounds, and that's why I think I was attracted to work with him so much too, and how we hit it off is that we were both just interested in other sounds and other ways of playing. I think he wanted to. The way I think about the piece too is that it's kind of water is in everyone's life. It's such an essential part of our lives, from birth, to everyday living, and we hear those sounds. And for me, the most important thing is this kind of abstraction, taking that into the concert hall and presenting it as music. And as soon as you do that, it kind of changes how people hear those sounds in their environment around them. So he was very interested in these ideas and kind of getting back to nature a little bit. So, this all came about because of that.
There have been compositions over the years, plenty of them have evoked water, Handel's water music, Debussy's La Mer, but relatively few water instruments. Why?
Not sure. There should be more water instruments. I think as a percussionist, I guess you could have asked anyone to play this, but it made sense for a percussionist to kind of deal with this new territory. But there were certain instruments. Water was used to manipulate sounds before. There's one instrument I use in this piece, which is the water gong. And this has been around since the mid-1940s. This was invented by John Cage when he was writing a piece. I think the story was he was writing a piece for UCLA dance, and it was in a swimming pool. So, being how interesting he was dipping gongs into water. So some of the instruments have existed that we use, but Tandon took it like one step further, where I have to play specific pitches on the gong, because the density of the water, anything that's metallic or anything that resonates, if you dip it in the water, it changes the pitch. The density will lower the pitch. Mm-hmm. So certain instruments have been around, and then the actual playing water as an instrument, that was quite new, I think, and just through experimenting and finding new sounds and building up a vocabulary over the years, But each time I play it, things change quite a bit.
Let's take another clip. I'll look at another clip from your performance with the Royal Stockholm Philharmonic, Tandon conducting.
Great.
splashing around like that, you must get thoroughly soaked. And so I noticed that the scores look as though they're covered with plastic. Are there other preparations you have to take?
Well, the other percussionists covered theirs. I think they laminated them, and but mine looks like it was found in the Titanic or something. 'Cause I kind of like that it's kind of waterlogged. But preparations as far as
well, you have electronic instruments, the microphones and things like that.
oh yeah, so it's a little bit of danger percussion as far as having water and electronics on the stage. We are amplifying the water because there are lots of subtleties from just the dripping of the water that you might not be able to hear so well in the hall. So there is some sound reinforcement and also lighting under those large bowls. There's lights in the stands and kind of creates nice abstract reflections on the ceilings and when the metal kind of reflects the light. And actually, one of the instruments in the beginning of that clip. That is an instrument that that you can buy. That's called a waterphone, made by Richard Waters, which I don't understand if it's because you're putting water in it or if it's his name. But that's something that existed beforehand.
It certainly has a lot of it has a playful quality, the kind of splashing around. But some of it looks like it's a jazz solo. How much of it is improvised?
Well, there's quite a lot of improvisation, and also just the nature of the instrument makes you have to improvise, because you not always will get what you think you'll get when you're playing the water. So, but all the cadenzas are completely improvised. I have a sort of roadmap of what I'll do, but how I kind of do it and how I get to the next section, I leave up for the moment. And also try to change it up a little bit each performance, keep the orchestra interested too. I feel I'm performing with them and for them, especially during the solos.
You yourself have invented the amplified cardboard tube, and I was wondering, with the ability of synthesizers to imitate or create sounds, why the desire to invent new instruments?
There's a physicality to them. I mean, I could play a marimba or I could play a MIDI instrument that had a marimba sound on it, but there's something physical about it. I'm interested in amplifying a lot of instruments and using feedback, natural phenomena that will happen when you're amplifying something. But there's a physicality to percussion more than other instruments sometimes, because it's just a lot more motion to play. So if I was just listening, I could replicate something with a synthesizer or a sampler, but as a performer, I still like the hands-on feeling of instruments.
Well, thank you very much, and good luck with the performances.
Oh, thanks very much.
You can read more about Tan Dun's Water Concerto at artandseek.org. Chris?
Thanks, Jerome. To access our free podcast, you can go to the Think page of KERA's website, kera.org/think. And we'd like to know your thoughts on the show as well. You can email us at think@kera.org. My name is Chris Boyd. Thanks for being with us, and have a great week.
To learn more, go to kera.org/think. Think is made possible in part by Dell Services. Dell Services develops and delivers a comprehensive suite of IT and application services, business process solutions, and consulting services designed to help customers succeed. For more information, you can visit dell.com/services. By Southwest Securities, a nationally recognized regional brokerage firm that's been meeting the needs of Southwest investors for more than 30 years. Southwest Securities is a member of the New York Stock Exchange and SIPC. By the Executive Education Center at the University of Texas at Dallas, providing degree and non-degree programs to help corporate professionals and executives stay ahead. On the web at som.utdallas.edu/executive. And by the valued support of KERA members. Thank you. Support for Art and Seek comes from Donna Wilhelm, the Margaret A. Cargill Foundation, the Robert Ted ENLOE Family Advised Fund, and KERA members. Visit artandseek.org.